This is the wonderful Rashid. We've been together, as you said, for 5 years or so now.
Yeah.
And I do feel like I feel so clucky and proud of you. You're just like one of my favourite people, and we haven't been in touch much lately. So for you to be here, it's been wonderful.
Absolutely.
So he's a student of ours. In case you're wondering why I'm gushing, this is you never graduated, did you? You just...
I don't want to graduate. So, I have a thing with graduation.
Yeah, let's put it off forever. Yeah, I reckon put it off forever. So we're going to have a chat. Let's hear some of his story. I don't know where to start it because we've never done this before. So I know you've got a wonderful story that we haven't had before. You were mentioning at the back, make sure I ask you about it.
Sure.
So can you share where it all began for you? Did you start in Pro Coach?
Pro Coach wasn't there that time. I signed up with the first batch when it was offered.
When it first became available.
Yeah.
Did I make up Pro Coach in front of you on stage?
No. So that was one event before.
Yeah.
So I was part of Master Coach, and then you ran a training and you made Pro Coach, and I was attending the next Fox.
Yeah, and that was it for you. So you tell them what you were sharing. You just touched the base with me, and I didn't know any of this. I'd really be honoured if you wouldn't mind. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I love sharing it because I know most of us have been in these places where I was. I was 18 and a half in 2013 when I came to Australia by myself with $1,000 in my pocket. Yeah. And with a bunch of expectations and really unresourceful beliefs to make a life for myself and my family. And to really, also with a dream to change the world. Yeah. Right? And so there was a conflict in who I was and what I wanted to do. Yeah. Which I didn't realize.
Who you felt you could be.
Who I felt I could be, right? So absolutely, I had this limitless feeling of potential, but I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And because I was by myself, I had no family here, no friends, didn't go to school, anything. I went down a very dark lane. I was in depression and diagnosed by doctors and I just wanted to kill myself, take my life. And we're talking late 2014.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think as I became a coach, I found the story becomes irrelevant. Yeah. But it also holds meaning to you when you look back.
Yes, of course.
When you reflect, right, in hindsight, and then it gives you foresight. So, I was depressed. Just wanted to end my life, but there was a part of me which, that innate BS meter. We have that meter that tells us, no, there's something more than this, And so that was going off. And I remember being on the phone with the suicide helpline. And they said, they just kept listening compassionately. And after the phone call, I was like, what a waste of time was that? Not realizing what would happen. And then I went on and I came across Tony Robbins. And then I was like, I want to do this. What this guy's doing, I want to change people's life. I want to, and significance really connected with me, right? Because I was looking for significance and connection because I didn't have family. And then next thing I know, I was looking up how to be Tony Robbins. That was Mr. Google. So
we need to start a Google campaign, how to be Tony Robbins, and our website needs to come up.
Well, but I got to say though, as much as I love Tony, it's great, but it wasn't the pathway for me to that greatness. It's a great pathway to realizing your own potential, but it's not the pathway to helping others then as well. It becomes, it's a stepping stone, but it's not the pathway, so to say. So I came across Coaching Institute, and then it was like, I still remember I was working at $14 an hour.
Really?
At a Lebanese restaurant.
I didn't know this. Tell me.
Yeah. So I'm Sydney-based as well, living in Blacktown, and working in Gordon, $14 an hour at $550 a week. Signed up for a course that cost me $150 a week while going to university. Yeah. Which I thought was very nonsensical for me. Yeah. It has its place, but I found I was.
So hang on. So you need to fill in that blank. You were also studying at university.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were studying what?
Yeah. So I changed my course 6 times because didn't stick with it the 7th time. So yes, I initially came here to study law and politics because I'm from a relatively less developed country, and so I thought that's the way to change the world. And then, you know, with my own journey, then I went to counterterrorism and study all these different things, and then business. That's right. And I'm like, well, I need to make money if I want to change anything for my family. And then I dropped out of that too, because I was looking outside. Right? I was looking outside how I can change the world and how I can change everything. And so it was during this, I think, a year that I didn't go to university at all, that I found the Coaching Institute. And I still remember our first training that we did together. Well, I was part of. And yeah, I'm just speechless. I've got my visuals there from the training. And I had that breakthrough moment with you, if you remember, where you did a grief bust. Because I lost a really close relationship as well, because of, which was the trigger, so to say, going into depression. And then things just changed. I was like,
and that was 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Of a grief bust, and that was
Absolutely.
It. It was resolved. I remember that.
Yeah. And initially I joined Coaching Institute it was personal, right? It was my journey, and I wanted to just see what I could do with it. I didn't know what I could do with it. I didn't know the potentialities, so to say. But the grief bust that we did, the 10 minutes, and then as I reflected back on it in the next few days, I was like, if that's the level of difference you can make in 10 minutes, what the hell can you do in 10 months with a client?
Wonderful.
Or with a person? Or a group of people? And that's when I decided to be a full-fledged coach, to dedicate myself full-time to coaching. So
I didn't know that. To me, you were in the room. May I share? Absolutely. You struck me as so serious, and you wanted to be taken so seriously, and you were so young. Like, you were so young then, and just wanted to be taken so seriously, and you wanted it, but you weren't asking for a lot of me. What I liked is we got to know each other through the courses. You became more demanding in a really cool way to make it relevant for you. In the beginning, it was like, am I being accurate? And that is that.
Absolutely,
am I making,
I was seeking significance.
And in the beginning, your questions weren't that demanding of me. Our relationship really blossomed, I feel, when you became more demanding. Okay, so how does that work with an entrepreneurial sense? And how do you convert that into $1 million blah? And you became more demanding. So we had a lot more fun when you brought the challenge to our conversation. Do you remember the shift?
Yeah, absolutely.
You and Byron.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Absolutely, I still remember being that staunch, serious, take me seriously, masculine, you know. It was a protection mechanism.
Of course.
Right? I was trying to protect myself from being hurt again. When what I really wanted to do was hold myself rather than protect myself. And so, thank you. That's all I have
really
to say
wonderful to watch. Wonderful to watch. So, what would you like to share about the program? What have you enjoyed particularly? So one of the things that we're very clear about is we're not a weekend overnight success story.
Absolutely,
no one is. There's work involved. And we're never going to apologise for that, because anything worth it, we're not teaching people how to tie shoelaces. We're teaching people how to transform people, work with people to transform their lives. It's going to take effort. What would you say about that effort? Where have you needed to focus and develop you? Because everyone's going to be different. What's it been for you?
Big question. Lots. It's like, I'm writing a book, by the way.
Good, of course you are. Of course. I would like the second copy.
I mentioned that because of the question that you asked. I asked myself the same question. What did I have to work on? And what did it take for the transformation? Right? And there's so many levels, but I'd start with the fundamentals, right? The first part was just really working with my relationship with myself, right? Because I did not think of myself as a human being. I was a human doing.
And doing it for everybody else.
For everybody else.
I remember that conversation.
And that happens when you're doing it for everybody else, because you forget that you're a being. And so that's where it started. Really digging deep into, and it was painful and uncomfortable in the beginning, right? Like any change is. And so I think there was the belief that I also learned. I still remember being part of Fox, I think. Joe Pane, wonderful. Joe, he did mention that boundary conditions we talk about, right? So these limiting beliefs that we have. And so just going through those limiting beliefs was so hard for me in the beginning, because it was like, no, but this is my reality. How could you tell me that it's easy to make money or it's easy to help people? How could you tell me that I can bring my family here when all I've got is $500 a month coming in. And I'm 20 and there's so much to take and all these stories, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first part, dealing with the stories and going deep.
And getting unentrenched from them.
Unentrenched from them, exactly. You know, disentangling the enmeshment, as you say, into the tribal cycle. And it started for me, I think when we did the meta trainings as well.
I remember.
Meta Dynamics 1 and Meta Magic.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, Meta Magic.
That was magic.
Yeah, it was magic.
So I think, and so, but at the same time, I think I want to share that it's not just that you need to be this perfect person to help others.
Right? No one is.
Yeah, because you can never be. Perfection is so subjective.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's not the goal.
It's not the goal.
No.
It can never be the goal because it can never be mutual.
No, exactly.
So it will always be person to person different. So we need a shared goal, which is love and connection and acceptance.
Wow, look at you.
Right?
Oh my God. You're amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you. Will you just, I'm doing advanced skills again next year. Will you come back for that just to be in the room for me? It's all about me. Yes. Thank you so much.
I'll give you that one little gift.
Thank you so much.
In return for the thousands of gifts I've gotten from you. That's okay. That's all right.
It's so big of you.
Thank you.
We'll have to get Byron to come back as well.
We do.
Yeah.
We should do one interview with him and
I know. Byron's his mate throughout the whole training. There was the two of them together the whole time. These two bratty teenagers sitting. True story.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And we were like we're like two different poles in the sense of the backgrounds. He has a relatively affluent background. I have like a very, so his belief systems were very different from mine. Yeah. But it was just so beautiful.
And you're both getting there. You're both doing it.
Absolutely.
How's he doing now?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. He's also working with businesses and doing really well. Yeah. So
for you, it's been a very personal journey. We did a lot of good business stuff together. You really sought me out in our school around business skills and the ABCs of, well, how do you monetize? If I'm not going to do them $500 a week and I want to add a few zeros, what do I do now? So can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first 2 years were personal, what I was sharing. And then from 2017 onwards, I think, it became business for me. Yeah. Because it was like, well, I need to I'm bringing in some money, but this is not long-term sustainability for me. No. And I need that security. I need to create that financial base so I can really go out there and do bigger things with that, make bigger impact. Yeah. Right? And so I remember talking to Matt, I think it was 2017. I'm like, hey, mate, I'm trying to find out how to build my website. Yeah. And all sorts of questions around business. And so, and as I said, by the way, I have to share this distinction. I went to business school at university, and I did not learn half the things at university in business school compared to what I've learned in TCI's Ultimate Business Success Guide.
Thank you.
That's one book.
Yes, it is.
And then so I've gone through that. And,
good.
Thank you.
Good. Somebody read the book.
I had to. So the business journey has been rather really good. And I think it's very, again, I think it's entangled with personal.
Yes, it is.
Because if you don't believe you can, you won't. Yeah. If you believe you can, you will. I remember starting with, can we talk about money? Or?
Can we talk about money?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Is that cool? Yeah. Awesome. So my first coaching session was with my hairdresser.
Well done.
So I was getting my hair cut and I go, hey, so she was sharing with me, she had a son who has been diagnosed with ADHD and she's having challenges around relationship. Like, hey, I think I can help you. Yeah. I think I know what you're looking for, what your son's looking for. Yeah. And we signed up and I charged her for my first coaching session $100.
Well done. Me too.
And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
From $14 an hour to $100 an hour. I'm like, I'm going up places. But I was limiting myself to $100 at that point. And then so the more I grew in the personal realm, the higher my rate became. Yeah. Because the higher my impact was.
That's it.
And I think another level at which these two things are entangled is the more you sort your shit out, the more you can help other people sort theirs.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like levels you keep going through. Trust me.
The trust me model. Yeah.
And so
what we have people saying is, well, I'm going to go sort my shit out and then I'm trained to be a coach. Please tell them you sort your shit out as you learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as you do this for others, you see what you need to do for yourself. Yeah. it's so hard to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm not, without putting any burden of your change on clients, I'm saying this from a very respectful place, it's just the way it works. When you're working with someone, you see these things in them, and then you're like, you reflect back later on, and you go, okay, this is my growth. So you have your own coach, and then you have your client. Yeah. And it's a journey. It's like a wonderful cycle.
It is. It's a spiral upwards constantly. It's a spiral
upwards, absolutely. So I remember I was rebellious at the beginning, right? So I was helping people come out of rebellion.
Yeah. Shockingly.
Shockingly, right? I was, as soon as I realized I'm rebellious, oh my God, I'm looking for significance, love, connection, certainty. Yeah. And then I started, you know, finding those little pieces of those. I was like, I can help people. Yeah. I can help people get over that. Then I tapped into my uniqueness, right? Which is, I can see that we've talked about it. So, and I'm like, I can help people find their purpose now and their uniqueness. Yeah. This is fantastic. Yeah. Then I started making systems. I was like, I can help business owners create systems. Yeah. Right? So it was like a level by level, and now I'm finding meaning in my work.
Well done.
So helping people do that.
So you went from 100, keep going.
Yeah, so I went from 100 to now my program in January that I'm starting with group work. I'm charging $350 an hour for group work. Yeah. So you're going to be part of so what I'm doing is a breakthrough group, let's say, and I've got 10 people I'm going to take in. We're going to do 4 2-hour sessions, so that's 8 hours, and they're going to pay $2,500 for that. Each.
Yeah, congratulations. Very well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank
you. So how's the, what were you making at $14 an hour a year? What were you on? Do you remember?
Annually?
Yeah. Do you know?
No, I think 22, 25,000 or 28.
How are you doing now?
Well, I've done 6 figures last year, so I'm on the way to do 300 this year.
Congratulations.
I've got a strategic pathway for that.
Well done. Of course you do.
Yeah.
Of course you do. Isn't that fantastic? It's so good. Well done. Wonderful. Yeah. Is there something more you want to share? Do you have questions for this wonderful human being? Please. Hey.
Hello.
Hi. Just more of a thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And specifically that it's not one of the 100 grand in 12 months, first 12 months sort of things, because I know myself 2 years in and still not being there, it just sort of shows that you can go through that personal journey and then...
You can't avoid it.
No, of course.
No one's getting there ever without facing themselves.
Yeah.
Your business can't outgrow you.
Yeah. So my take on that was very similar because, as I said, it took me 2 years going for $100, didn't know how to get clients, whatever. Not because there was no system in place, not because there was not enough guidance or not enough training.
No.
It was because...
No, it wasn't.
It was because I didn't want to put myself out there.
Yeah.
I wasn't comfortable because I had stuff around stuff. Yeah. I had stuff around sitting in a group like this and sharing my story. Yeah. Oh my God, how can I talk about it? That's stuff we don't talk about. That's like it's in the past. It's like having this linear sense of time where I'm living in the past. Yeah. And so, I very rightly so agree. It's not a matter of as soon as you go in. For some people, it will be, right? And I've seen so many coaches do that too. Yeah. Right? They make the 100K mark in 12 months, and so it's really up to you. It's really where you're in your journey. And so, if you're going to be honest with you, you won't really worry about making 100K. No. Because you can make 100Ks if you work in yourself and you are true to yourself.
The first best investment is always ourselves.
Absolutely. I've seen you say this in one of your videos that I can't remember which one it was, where you go, the most important real estate you can invest in is up here. Yeah.
Yeah, you invest in that out there, it can multiply a little bit. In here, it can multiply in all those places.
And
so my first 25K, I invested all of it in this, my education. Yeah.
Well, may I share my investment?
Yeah,
then?
of course.
So I've invested $90,000 so far.
Good on you.
In my education in the last 4 years.
Well done.
And for most part, it's been with TCO, but and on top of that, learning business and other things. And so I don't see the 10x return yet, but I can see it happening.
Well, it's only time.
Exactly.
It's only time.
So it's here, investing here, and then it's a multiplier effect.
Yeah, good on you.
So, thank you for that question.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Any other questions? Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
She's just joined us.
Oh, welcome home.
It's my
my day one.
I like to think like that.
It's not one day, it's day one.
Yeah. That great analogies back of the room. I just have a question about, it is my day one, and I can see how impactful this is, but if you could go back, if you could talk to the bratty, rebellious teenager, what would be your advice going into something like this?
Oh.
Or what could you share for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, I don't like going with the traditional answer of giving advice to myself at that time. I don't like that because I don't agree with the idea that it could have been different. It couldn't have been. What I would tell anyone starting the journey is play out you. So there's floodgates you put up, and you're gonna have to just look at that and decide if you want to open it or not. Because if you do open it, at the beginning it's gonna be an absolute chaos, but from chaos comes order. Now, the less you tap into the chaos, the more you're avoiding order, and the more you're delaying order, whatever your version of order might be.
I love that, yeah. The chaos and the mess of who we truly are, the longer we avoid that and protect ourselves from that, the longer we're protecting ourselves from success.
Absolutely. So just focus on you at the beginning.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Perfect. I said, do you.
Yeah.
Do you fully,
That's
with
why
all of your heart,
Yeah.
and show up with you, and we'll help you, and we'll guide you, and say, add this to your repertoire, and tap into that, and play with that. And you'll go, no, I don't need that. I'm talking about... you do you, Rashid, and we'll meet and compare notes. Remember me saying that to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you'll try something new when you're ready. But do you until you're ready to do the version of you that's ready for that addition or adding. All you're doing is, you're not creating you, you're not changing you, you're just tapping into aspects of you that have been denied. That's all we're doing, helping you tap into all of you. So you'll tap into the aspects of you when you're ready not to protect it.
Yeah.
And you can only do it your way.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep at it and at it and at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you. Hey.
Hello.
Hello, wonderful human being.
Thank you.
Coming.
Thank you for having me.
I have been where you've been, and I had almost jumped off the train wreck a few times. And I want to know what brought you back each time. What was that spark of your soul that brought you back from the brinker of life and waiting to soldier on another day?
Yeah. Can I take a couple of minutes? Please?
Go.
Thank you for sharing with us that, by the way. It's, that takes a lot. So it wasn't until 18 months after I started my journey that I realized that I have that spark. That's me. Because the first 18 months I was still looking to feel good. Simply put, feel good, right? Not feel that stuff that I'm trying to get rid of. And the moment it sank in that I don't know how to get rid of it, and the moment I accepted that truth, and the moment I went, okay, I'm going to let one person at a time help me. And so when I said 18 months, by the way, that was the period of my going downward spiral, not after joining TCI. And so the first person that I let in was the grief bust that we did.
Me.
I have no idea how I raised my hand that day. I had no idea.
I can't believe it, because so many people would have put their hands up.
Yeah. And I was the only one who put their hand up.
Perfect.
It was just, so I think there's an element.
Really?
Yes, I remember that distinctively. I know. And so I think there's an element of trusting that you can.
Thank goodness you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that first step, so metaphorical, isn't it? Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So there's an element of, I don't want to get too out of reality, but there is an element of trusting that you can. And I know that you cannot trust until you know how to trust.
Yeah.
Right? But it's such a cliche, but it is the way it is.
Yeah. Knowing you can handle it.
Knowing you can handle it. Like, I don't know how to handle it, but I can figure it out. Right?
Or I can know that I can handle it not working out.
Yeah.
Or I can handle being rejected. Or I can handle this moment and I don't know how, but somehow I'm going to handle it.
Absolutely.
That's the key to life.
Absolutely. Just And I think when we use the word trust, it sounds big, but that's what trust looks like.
Yes, it is.
That's what it looks like. And so for me, it was raising my hand and going, and I think the rebellious part of me helped me. I was like, fuck feeling this. Sorry.
I love that.
That's just coming up for me, right? So the emotion around that. And I was like, this is it. And I raised my hand and I was like, I'm going to let this one person in because I can see that she can help people.
You were always so generous with me. I didn't know this. You always let me in.
Yeah. I think because I could trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I lacked growing up as a child.
Okay.
And that's a whole another journey, which we do at TCI, which is wonderful, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think it was my effort to just allow someone in, and then more of people who can help, combined with the environment I was in, which is a huge factor because I don't think I would be able to allow someone in if they, you being in this case, did not create that space for me. That space where I could say, hey, I'm safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was so unsafe.
What money cannot buy. Because money cannot buy you open your heart to me and to witness this journey for the rest of people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. So that was my part of feeling safe. I think that was the breakthrough that I felt safe.
I just felt safe yesterday. I saw your face. I remember I know her. She's in my future. I know her soul, and I actually talked to your heart self. And I'm remembering the day before I came here first day, I got a severe psychic attack from my mother's partner. And I remember meditating and talking to your heart self, and I just remember your heart self looking at me like, "You're still gonna show up, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And when I came here, I finally felt safe.
Good.
Yeah.
So the key to feeling safe isn't that you can trust the person, it's that you can trust, you can handle what happens with the person.
Yeah.
There has to be times I've let Rashid down. I don't know about it, but there has to be. That doesn't mean he doesn't trust me, because he can trust him to handle our relationship.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because a lot of people think, I don't know if I can trust you yet. I can guarantee you can't trust anyone on the planet, including yourself. But can you handle what happens having that relationship? That's the key to a great life. It's not that person will never let you down. That is a ridiculous expectation to have of people. That they'll never let you down, that's the only way you can trust. It's never going to happen.
It's unrealistic.
It's unrealistic. So people keep setting themselves up saying, well, I don't find it easy to trust. No, it's not that you don't find it easy to trust others. It's you don't know you can handle what happens if you let people in. That's the conversation we're having. Yeah, I like that. There was somebody down... Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks again for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
I picked up in your, after the intro, words coming up was that you were also suicidal in your upward journey. Just perhaps to share with us significant others, because as diverse as we are here, we have different faiths, sometimes different potential sets of values. How did you tap into significant others in the community in your upward journey? There's always people that we can hang on to. They got broad shoulders to hang on to. How was that? How did that develop you in surviving? Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. So I wasn't suicidal in my perception at that time. I wasn't going upwards when I was suicidal. I was suicidal when I was going downwards. And that was when I couldn't make money, I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do outside of me. So, and correct me if I'm wrong in understanding your question. What you're saying is, how did my people around me, how did I utilize that in hanging on and making sure that I was not completely going down the rabbit hole? Is that correct? Yeah. I didn't. The truth is I didn't. And that's why I was going down consistently, and I found that in TCI. And I didn't because, as I said, I came here when I was 18 and a half, and I knew no one except one person who I like to call my aunt, who is my dad's best friend and we're generational friends. But because I had so much shame, this is getting deep, isn't it? I had so much shame around talking as you mentioned about values, we don't talk. I come from a background, and I think we're blessed in the Western society where there's shame, but it's not that, the enmeshment is not as deep as it was. We could not use the word suicide or depression. No. It's that bad, let alone having a psychologist treat it, or, which is the first line of defense in Western society. For me, it was, I could not imagine talking about that kind of thing. It was just like, you can't, my values did not allow me to be open about how I'm feeling, or communicate about how I'm feeling. And I didn't learn that. I didn't have anyone to model from. So all of that was my values, and that was my exposure to people around me, and that's how people around me look like. So to say that how they helped me, I would say they helped me by creating pain.
That you didn't want that anymore.
I didn't want that anymore. That's how it helped me. I didn't tap into it because I was ashamed. If I talk about this, I'm going to look weak. And me being a man with, 19-year-old, and I'm young and I'm strong and I should be Sparta, and I'm supposed to look after my family. How can I say I'm depressed? I'm feeling depressed, and I feel I feel like taking my life. How can I say that? There's no way I can say that. So for me, whatever little close community I had, because of the shame I was experiencing, I couldn't really tap into it. And when I say, as Sharon so profoundly said, that you can't trust others, it just sank in for me. It wasn't that I was trusting others or you, per se, in that moment. It was that the safety was around, I'm not going to be ashamed for what I say. And so that was the first, now as I look in hindsight, that was the first time that I realized I can actually talk about it. So my story would be, I didn't really tap into my close community straight away, but I found a community where I could.
It's our win.
And thank you.
It's our win.
Yeah, it is our win.
We'll take one more if there is, otherwise we'll wrap up. There is one more. Hey, Andrew. Yeah.
Thanks, Andrew.
Are you a mentor or anything for us yet?
Yes.
You're a mentor for us and facilitator?
Yeah.
Yeah, he runs programs in our course.
Yeah. Cool.
He's
Andrew,
part of it. Yeah, look out, just type when you're on the class with Andrew, with Rashid online.
Yeah.
You're Andrew from Sydney? Yeah. Oh, there we go. A whole bunch of people are going to say, yeah. Just when you join the class, let Rashid know you were in that Sydney event where he was a guest speaker. He is awesome. Oh, he's an amazing human being.
Oh, so much gratitude.
He is the most amazing mentor. So
he was your mentor?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And Kim's my next mentor. So I'm blessed for having
amazing.
The two people that are helping me grow to be the person that I want to be.
How wonderful.
Coach. Both of you are amazing and so thankful for what you give. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're what allows me to move forward in my growth.
Thank you.
And so inspirational. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good on you. What would you say to anybody thinking of joining? Is people with splinters in their asses in the room sitting on the fence?
Could I share something about mentorship and then move to that question?
Yeah.
So, and it's about the program, so I trust that this will help you make a decision as well. When I mentor, or when I was mentored as well, what I found is, as I was coaching in those 45 minutes, as I was listening in as a mentor, what I was hearing was coaches having their own beliefs and limitations come into play as a coach. And that was happening with me when I was a coach too. Yeah. So my mentors helped me, and I am helping the current coaches not only become better coaches, because that's very mechanical to say, hey, I'm going to be a great coach. And we're not here for a mechanical journey. We're here to be beings, sentient beings of love, ultimately, and then help other people realize that. And so the mentorship part of the coaching that we do is the mentor gives you feedback on where you as a person have things to grow on. That's what I do. Yeah. I see this and this. It's worth exploring. Yeah. And then you go and explore with your own coach, or you find a coach, and then you find, oh my God, there's all these things that I can grow from. And then you grow. So that's how it looks like in real time, the journey. You listen to a mentor go, hey, I can hear that you're not ready to ask really provocative questions. maybe there's something worth exploring, like you're not feeling comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Just explore that.
Wonderful.
So that's how it looks like. Now, for someone sitting on the fence,
That's a great answer. That's really great. And then in the program, there are lots of people who coach you for free, so there's always a coach available to help you with that part of the journey. So that's included in as well.
we have hundreds of people. I think
Who
we've
will
got
help.
a TCI peer coaching group. It's
Yeah,
like,
there's a TCI peer coaching group, and I hear that if you type in there, I need a coach for blah, by the time you hit send, there's 20 people saying, I'll coach, I'll coach, I'll coach, I'll coach, I'll coach, all for free.
absolutely.
Just volunteers offering to serve.
That in itself is so much value, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
And so for anyone sitting on the fence to join the program, it's like there's levels that I've shared with you of the
You've been
personal
amazing.
being of the program.
Isn't he amazing?
Thank you.
Just fantastic. You are. You really are.
Thank you.
Great story. Amazing journey you're giving yourself. I love it all.
Do it for you,
Yeah.
because if you make it about others when you're making the decision, you're going to sit on the fence because it won't feel quite right, because the part of you that you need to pay attention to may tell you that I can't do this. And when you hear that voice, I can't do this, or you hear yourself say, I don't know if I can create a business out of this, or I can be a great coach, whatever that doubt sounds like, just listen to it with a path of no resistance and just go, yeah, and I can figure it out. And just hop on and join us, and you'll take care of you. I'm not going to say we'll take care of you, because you'll take care of you.
Yeah.
We'll just be like, well, what do we do? We're like the torch, right?
Yeah.
Like shine the light kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, we're there showing the path and inviting people to take the path.
That's it.
When I've got that voice, you can't do it, you're not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and I can handle it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can handle it. Thank you. Thank you for taking care of me, and I can handle it. Thank you for wanting to keep me safe, and I can still handle it.
Yeah.
Thank you for wanting to protect me from facing tough stuff, and I can handle it.
Absolutely.
Over and over again until the voice went, I quit.
Yeah.
Huh?
I love that part integration.
Yeah, exactly. It's the end, not the but. Yeah, accepting all of me.
Here's the relieving part, though. If you don't join the program, that's okay. You're still going to be human.
Yeah,
You're still going to have a human experience.
yeah,
The question is, how well do you want to do it?
yeah.
Do you want to continue having those, challenges in all these different areas of your life? Or do you actually want to address them and create change and actually live what all those thoughts you have? I'm going to create, my relationship should look like this, and my finances should look like this. I want to buy this house. All of that stuff. It's in your imagination, it's outside of you. Right? So there's a difference between reality and actuality.
Yeah.
In your reality right now, it's all in your imagination. In actuality, if you can master this, as you say, you will create that.
Yeah.
Because you can transform reality. Or you can't really do that if you don't change your actuality, which is where you are right now. So investing in this program is investing in you, which will help you create all that you want to create. So I look forward to seeing you.
You're amazing.
Thank
I'm so proud of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
I admire you so much. Truly, ever since you joined the program, it's been my win that you joined us. I've told you that since the day I met you. I'm just so grateful you chose us. Truly. Thank you. I think you're amazing.
Well,